got a pocket full of money, pocket full of molly, grams of that shit that make that pussy.
This is Street Politics, a place where bias and bullshit do not exist. Tonight, two Jewish civilians were walking home, leaving the Jewish Museum in Washington, D.C., were murdered. Let's get into it. The other night, or a couple nights ago, we have Laurent Shazinski. Forgive me if I have botched his name, to his family or to his friends, and Sarah Milgram, a young couple who worked for the Jewish or the Israel embassy. They attended a night outing as a young couple. The young couple were due to be married in the next few months. But as leaving work, the Jewish Museum was holding an event, and the two young couples went down there to enjoy the nice night. As in leaving the event, the two young couple, Lawrence Shazinski and Cheryl McGillen, were brutally murdered right in the streets of DC. Just crazy. Sarah, who was a graduate from the American University, she has been working for the Israel embassy for a few years now. Her soon-to-be husband was German-born, but he has been working for the Israel embassy going on a year and a half now. The couple was just leaving the event, and as they're walking out leaving the event, they were shot more than 12 times, which is crazy because if y'all know where DC is, where the museum is, it's definitely lit up out there. Definitely lit up out there. But the killer's name is Alice Rodriguez, a Hispanic-born Chicago native from Albany Park, excuse me. He was an English major from the University of Chicago. It was heard to be seen, well, I guess it was seen and to be heard, Mr. Rodriguez to be shouting "Free Palestine" as he was being apprehended by the museum security. Now, it's reported, but not really confirmed, that Mr. Rodriguez had a 900-word manifesto or suicide letter, whatever you want to call it. But like I said before, it is not confirmed that these are his words. But due to the reports that it was dropped on a Twitter, Mr. Rodriguez can be talking very recklessly and crazily about the treatment and what's going on between Gaza, what's going on in the Strip of Gaza, and the treatment of the Palestinians. What's the connection? Why do I say that, street team? What's the connection? I meant to look this up, but that's not the only murder that happened. It was a guy in, I believe, LA. Don't quote me on this, but I believe so. I think it was in LA. A guy was just randomly shooting in the middle of the streets, talking about Free Palestine. He was shooting at at a group of people who were just out there, I guess, demonstrating, and he was saying "Free Palestine." Now, what is the connection of this? And you just had, if you guys have been checking in or tuning into my into the show, just last week I just talked about how Trump just went to the Middle East for the first time for his first international trip, his first trip anywhere. He goes to where? Not to check out what's going on in Israel and in the Gaza Strip, not to get that situated, but he flies way over, pass over Israel, and goes to Saudi Arabia. Now, is that not a coincidence how he goes to Saudi Arabia and then a couple days later we have all these demonstrations and protests, and not just protests but murders, man. This stuff is serious. You know, I have no real skin in the game, but starving people uh, is definitely not the way to go. And many people believe, Israel needs to definitely need to get this thing resolved. You know, um, having people walk 10 miles for rice and water is crazy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, street team, if you guys don't look into this, I told y'all this was going to be an issue, but I didn't know it was going to be this severe. If y'all look into my show last week, I spoke into this. Israel and Palestine are still at war heavily, majorly heavily. And the reason why, if you want to go back, that they didn't feel like the Democrats needed to be in office is because of the Israel and Palestine crisis. Funny how, not saying to say it's about who you know, that's one thing about politics, but Trump and Netanyahu are boys, are buddy buddies. And it's not a strange fact that somehow the war in Palestine and Israel is pretty much tampered down. It's not over, it's just tampered down. It's not on super high alert like it used to be, but now it's tampered down. But even though it's tampered down, Israel still controls a lot around the Gaza Strip. They control the entire Gaza Strip. And that's deep, deep, deep politics and deep, deep hatred. But I mean, at the end of the day, you can't starve. You can't starve people, man. You know what I'm saying? You can't starve them people, man. I mean, we have to, as a nation, as people, and even as that's the land that Jesus walked on. Is that what we're really doing? Even to our enemy? So I mean, y'all gotta really, really, I have to really pray for Israel, pray for the people in Palestine, because right now it's getting to a disgusting point. And when you starving people and you asking people to walk 10 miles just to get water, supplies, just to survive, women getting diapers for their children, walking 10 miles with children. Like, come on, that is crazy. That is ridiculous. That is un of God. If you're a Muslim or you're a Christian, that is un of God. And it's funny how Trump just flew right over flew right over Israel and landed in Saudi Arabia, and came out talking about he landed so many deals. Why? Is it not because of that plane? Because Netanyahu didn't have a 747 plane. That's why the president didn't land in Israel. How long would it have took if the president would have landed in Israel for a day? How about 5 hours? Just to check and get a control on Netanyahu in this situation. See, that's one thing about America. See, people elect Trump because they thought Trump would say what he wants, but Trump is ran by people who give him money. And that's a fact. Israel ain't giving him no money, so he ain't interested. Saudi Arabia had a 747 plane waiting for him. So guess where he went? Where that plane was. I mean, we got to get this together. Moving on. Thirsty Rubio. The Secretary of State has now opened up, let's say, I guess he's opened up, let's say, the portal He's opened up the portal for immigrants, but we just had this big thing, reason why Donald Trump was being elected because of the immigration problem in this country. But for some way, Marco Rubio believes that the South African people, let's clarify, the South African white people. Welcome back. Thirsty Rubio would like to know how all white South Africans are being endangered, that we need to allow out of the all groups of people to be immigrated into this country, that we need to pride towards them. Isn't it funny that Elon Musk is South African? But now all of a sudden, South African or white South African lives are being endangered. Not all South African lives, just white South African lives. That's strange. Funny how, I think it was maybe 13 or 12. Don't get me too quoted on that. I say allegedly that South African, white South Africans or white European South Africans were prioritized to get into this country on a fast track. Now, on other foreign relations and foreign things, because it's just so funny how Elon Musk is a South African. How all these countries, including Saudi Arabia, striking deals with Tesla and Starlink. The president just coming back from Saudi Arabia talking about he landed many deals. But a lot of those deals were in the pockets of Elon Musk. And, a couple back ends paused to the president himself and his family, including that 747 plane. But let's talk about how the president is not only a salesman for the Elon Musk enterprise, but he not only had Teslas on the front line, being a showroom showgirl for Elon Musk in the front line. How about let's talk about how the president is selling exclusive timeshares to the White House. You get VIP access, VIP treatment only to foreign and exclusive people, though. It's not to anybody. Even if you had the 200 or 300 million, whatever it is costs you, it's only to an exclusive few. Who is this exclusive few? Who is this exclusive few that gets access to the president exclusively on a VIP executive branch style? Can't make this up. This is all real. Selling access to the White House. When have we been able to do that? Like Barack Obama been able to been selling access to the White House. You seen Jay-Z and Beyonce, and they throwing parties and Puffy. Right, Puff selling, Obama selling exclusive VIP executive branches to Puff to freak off in the White House. But now it's good for MAGA. We selling exclusive access to the president to people who we don't even know, but we know they're foreign. Make this sense. Now, while Rubio has been in charge of the State Department, Let's talk about how he removed the Foreign Corruption Act. Now the State Department or nobody in the FBI are operating under that guideline. Just removed it under the charter. So for the next 4 years, under President Trump and under the leadership of Marco Rubio in the State Department and maybe the FBI, corruption of foreign acts is on the go. It's on the green light. Can't make this up. This is all this is all comical, but it's all real. So what does the national security really look like? Is national security for sale? Let's think about that, street team. Is national security, is it for sale? How much does it cost to get access to the president? How much does it cost to get on that VIP treatment list? See, Puff, if he was out right now, he'll probably, he got the money to freak off in the White House. Pause. This is crazy. But this is your president. This is what you guys asked for. I just can't see when Joe Biden is in office. I think the most corrupt thing I can do, to be honest, to be fair, no bias, no BS. His son was out there getting bags from the Chinese government. That's what he avoided jail time for. For those who don't know the story or what's going on behind the closed doors with the Bidens. Hunter Biden was out there getting bags, making deals like Trump and the Trump family and the Trump kids. That's what Biden was doing. He was just stacking, doing what they doing. But he was going to jail. Now, I don't know if he was what type of access he was selling, but he was selling access. He was selling access to the president. He was selling access to be in business with the president. However you want to shake it, pause. He was selling access. Now, we got the Trump organization and the Trump family, the Trump kids, the wife too. Everybody's selling access. Where's the congressional hearings? Where's the outrage? Where are the constitutional scholars? Now the White House is for sale. So if you got the right of money, you got a 747 plane. Because now with the Corruption Foreign Act not being, what I say, a guideline anymore, it's been removed from the charter, it's a green light on whatever in this White House. You got the bag, you got the access. And the Saudi Arabians just showed you that. So who's next? What's next? Israel didn't have no bag. The Palestinians didn't have no bag. So they allowed them people out there fend for themselves, rambling off like savages. You imagine that eating for 10, 20 days, maybe 3, 4 months? It's crazy. But instead, we're selling access to the Saudi Arabians. It wasn't that long ago like the Saudi Arabians had planes going into our buildings. No pun intended. We'll be right back. Let's talk about the NBA playoffs. Man, what can I say? Everybody getting all excited and ecstatic about the NBA. Oh, snap. We got breaking news. Hey, yo, they just fired Tibbs. Oh, that's crazy. Y'all niggas that fired Tibbs, yo. All right, I wasn't even going to go here, but clearly this is on the live wire. Pause. The New York Knicks has fired Tom Thibodeau. He is no longer the coach of the New York Knicks. The New York Knicks has no coach. That got to be a stupid move. All right, let me talk about Tom Thibodeau right quick off the script. People want to complain about Tibbs that he old school. He's not trying to move into the new age. Another big knock on Tibbs is that since this year, his team haven't been able to beat any teams over 500. Another knock on Tibbs on the final is that they were a better seed than the Indiana Pacers. So losing to a lower seed in the Eastern Conference Finals. Those are some good narratives, but is it the truth? I can say yeah, it's the truth because the record is the record. 2-18 over teams over 500, almost close to over 600. Elite teams, they would say. 2-18, that's a horrible record. Now, they also say in the Eastern Conference Finals he got out-coached by white boy Rick. Hey, shout out to Rick Carlisle, man. He did his thing over there. But they say he got out-coached. I wouldn't say he got out-coached. I would say this. Let me play devil's advocate for a second. The New York Knicks don't got no team for real. Yeah, the Villanova boys, they play together. When you play with somebody that's a familiar, it's easy to ball. Charles Hart is a little scrappy, pause, but he was a baller. You know, the Villanova boys was baller. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to them. But playing devil's advocate for Tibbs, let me say this, man. They ain't had no team. He ain't had no weapons. Like, other than Brunson, who was really for real a dog out there? Pause. Like, I forget cuz name. What's my man name? He was out there with Villanova. They moved him from small forward, and then he was kind of playing like power forward. But I forget cuz name. But anyway, he was traded to Brooklyn prior to before he got to New York. He was in Brooklyn, and the dude was averaging like 30. So how you go from a place to you averaging like 30, and then you come to New York, still in the same city, you was just in Brooklyn, averaging 30. And then Bridges. Yeah, Bridges. That's his name. Thank you, Holy Spirit. The nigga Bridges. The nigga Bridges was averaging like 25, 30 in Brooklyn. And then he get to the Knicks, and now the nigga don't know how to score. You know what I'm saying? Like, they talking about, oh man, a lot of people want to talk about ball dominant guards, and that's what the league is. Ball dominant guards. What do you think Cleveland is? Cleveland is a ball dominant guard team. Indiana Pacers is a ball dominant guard team. The league is ball dominant guards. That's a problem because the little nigga 5'4", he looking like Spud Webb out there. But that's just what it is. It's a ball dominant guard league. Pick and roll action. There's no more plays. Ain't nobody running the triangle. Indiana's not out there. Everybody talking about, oh, they ain't running nothing. They just got a point guard who knows how to set people up. Indiana ain't running ain't nobody in the NBA is running no fancy offense. Nobody. Everybody's running the same thing. High screens off the elbow. And maybe kick it out to the guy in the corner. That is the offense of the NBA today. You cannot tell me any different. They run the high screens to the left, or they're going to run 2 high screens off the right. And the people rolling off the screens, they rolling over to the corner. ISO. That's the league right now. So to say that Thibodeau, his style, coaching style, is outdated is bogus. It's really bogus. Now, New York is going to have to really make a splash because I believe their weakness was Cat. Cat has to be consistently big, pause. He plays small. He wants to be out there on a wing. He want to cross somebody up. The nigga like 6'13". He wanted to be Kevin Durant. And even sometimes I'll be like, yo, Katie, get your ass in the blocks. I mean, it's crazy how niggas now, they scared to get in the paint. That was the reason why New York lost. Because they didn't have a nigga that was really to be in the paint. Because for real, Indiana is soft in the middle. And to move on to to another topic, into the finals, because the stage is set. Indiana versus OKC. Indiana gonna get smashed. Not because they can't hang with Shea. I believe young Helly, he can hang with Shea. Despite what the media and everybody out there talking about, man. I believe he can hang with Shea. I really do. They got the same type of game. Inside game, tall, lanky frame, pause. They like to Helly, he like to set people up more than Shea do. But Shea, when he gets stuck, he'll set a nigga up. That's how Shea gets his assists. Helly, he with the assist first. He an assist first guard. He looking to get his people involved first. That's always a smart thing. That's always smart, especially if you're coming from a floor general. But Indiana Pacers, mark my word, you heard it first. The reason they're going to lose is because they soft in the middle. OKC has some real dogs down low. Pause. They got niggas that ain't scared to get in the paint. What's number 55 name? White dude. I forgot his name. He got the little floater move. He in the paint. They got a couple little dogs down there in that box that get dirty. Pause. And you know why? That comes from that coaching. They coach is homegrown. Bring that man up from the G League. Now look at him. Putting that on the national stage to everybody on his team. You want to get on this floor? You got to get scrappy with it. I want to see everybody. I want to see loose balls. Pause. I want to see rebounds. And that's how his team is playing. That's how his team they got over 60 wins. OKC about to sweep these motherfuckers, man. Like, for real. It's not really going to be that much of a competition because OKC plays defense. And you see, if the New York Knicks would have had some type of D in them, instead of off and on defense, because Tibbs preached defense, but he ain't got no dogs. Y'all blame Tibbs, but Tibbs ain't got no dogs. That's why New York lost. And they get rid of Cat. Get a real dog in that motherfucking stable. Pause. Until then, that's gonna be the hump New York get over. And they need another weapon. Or ask Bridges, what's up? Like a year.
I got a pocket full of money, pocket full of Molly, grams of that shit that make that pussy taste salty. Yeah, my baby mama calling, yeah, nigga stalling. She need a couple stacks and I ain't feeling jolly. Yeah, my pocket full of money, pocket full of Molly, grams of that shit that make that pussy taste salty.